Welcome back to Centered Gaming, where I show you how to get the most out of your gaming equipment, TVs, consoles, peripherals, so that you can get a centered gaming experience. No, I have not become a Jedi. This is not a lightsaber. As many of you probably recognize already, this is a PlayStation Move controller, and behind me is a PlayStation Move game, House of the Dead Overkill. And I love this game. It's also available on the Wii, and it's, the graphics are better on the PlayStation 3, but if you play it on PlayStation Move, you're going to get this. See? I'm sure anybody who's played the PlayStation Move more than a few minutes has been terribly annoyed by the fact that your motion controller makes a dot on the screen while you're playing. So, for a lot of you who've seen my videos on head-mounted displays, you'll say, well, Brent, why don't you just wear one of those? And I did. But I took it a step further. I used a PSVR headset. Now, what's so special about that? Two things. First of all, for those of you who haven't seen my videos about this, you may not know that the PSVR can plug into anything, well, almost, without any trickery or what have you, that has an HDMI output to it. And that includes the PlayStation 3. So you just pop this baby on and, make sure your aiming cursor is on, because it's going to suck if you don't, if you're just guessing where you're pointing at the TV, etc. But you can play in normal 2D cinema mode and not have to deal with this annoying dot on the television while you're playing. And additionally, I got my PSVR to play this game in 3D. That's right. I'm about to make some pretty freaking important people, or people who think they're important, liars and fools, and that includes you, Sony. So, basically what I have here is I'm going to do this on the PSVR so that I don't have the annoying glow. And I'm going to get my PSVR to play a 3D game, something that you're not supposed to do with it. All right, now, as you can see here, the PSVR courtesy screen is showing something kind of screwy. The only reason I wanted to show you this is because I like confirmation. You always want confirmation. So I'm going to start with everything's already hooked up. PSVR is hooked up into the PlayStation 3. You can't really see it, but it's showing a 3D output through here. And so you're going to see this on your courtesy screen. But once you put on your PSVR headset, you're going to see the game played in 3D. I'll show you exactly how it's done. But as you can see, I've unlocked the stereoscopic 3D setting. You cannot do that unless your PlayStation 3 thinks that it's connected to a 3D device. And I'm going to show you how to make it think that in just a moment. Let's get started. And I'm going to introduce you into this super cool gadget called the 3D Wizard. Here's the box that came in. As you can see, they're all happy watching 3D on a normal television set. How do they do this? They plug the device into a 3D Blu Ray player or a PlayStation 3 PlayStation 4, whatever, and it goes through this box here to your television set and displays anaglyph 3D. And to use a less technical term, that old stuff they used, you know, back in the mid 20th century with the red side and the blue side and the funky looking screen that, you know, looks like garbled mess of colors when you look at it. But that's the whole central component of this exercise for today, which I'm going to briefly show you. There's some technical nuances to it, which I will leave in the comment section just in case you run into the same problems I did when I tried this. So, in the back of the unit, you'll see there's a place for, you know, HDMI input, HDMI output, you know, a little power, place to flick it on and off. You just take your HDMI, connect it to your game console, this time the PlayStation 3, and then, you know, HDMI out to your television set. Watch a 3D Blu Ray. Then, while the Blu Ray is running, you change the connection from your PlayStation 3 to the 3D Video Wizard to PlayStation 3 to PSVR. And now, since your PlayStation 3 has already recognized that it has a 3D device connected to it, it'll just continue to output in 3D, but this time you're using your PSVR. Now, for those of you who've been keeping track of my videos, you'll see I've done similar things. Like with audio, I've, you know, swapped out, patched in, that sort of thing. Or there's a video where I have you watching 3D Blu-rays on the PSVR, but I trick my Xbox One using a Royal Moon headset, which is about, you know, a $300 or $400 device. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, Brent, you know, is it kind of crazy that you're using a Royal Moon and then switching into PSVR? Why don't you just watch it on your Royal Moon? Well, the same thought crossed my mind, and it's basically the concept that I wanted to demonstrate. Florida weather. Hear that rain in the background? If you don't like the weather in Florida, just wait 10 minutes. It'll change. Anyways, I got to thinking, and I'm saying, well, why do I have to use this expensive way to switch to a less expensive device? And thing is, PlayStation VR currently, you can get one refurbished, $120. Video Wizard, got it on eBay, $50. That's right. I didn't have to spend hundreds of dollars extra for that 3D feature that you can find on so few television sets nowadays. Anyways. And I really don't have too much more to say about this on this particular video. I will be doing some other videos, like, for instance, I want to do one on the 3D Video Wizard itself. Stayed up all night working out the little kinks I found in it, more like kinks in me for not understanding the directions right, because, you know, it's like 3 in the morning. But I watched Avatar. It was amazing. Amazing. In anaglyph 3D Avatar. And also, for those of you who've been following my videos on how to patch in audio, that sort of thing, if you want to play on headphones, I'm going to be doing videos on a device called the MixAmp Pro. So got some of that stuff coming up, but essentially you got it. you trick the PS3 into thinking that it's using a 3D device, and then you switch it to the PSVR, and you too can game in 3D on a PlayStation 3 using a PSVR. Sony, you could have done this. You could have made it work, but you didn't. Shame on you. Okay, that's enough of my rant. I did a whole separate video on my rants about Sony. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of Centered Gaming. Until next time, have fun gaming and stay centered doing it. Just a quick PS after reviewing this video and posting it on YouTube. I do want to mention that this concept of swapping out devices, I'm going to explore that further and further on more economical ways that you can convince your game console that it's connected to a 3D television set. And as I go along in the video description, I will continue to add each device that I find that I can use to fool it this way. So far, I know the Royal Moon will work. I've done it before. I did it a few weeks ago. Didn't want to do another video where I showed you how to use that expensive device to use a less expensive device. But I have some theories, like maybe some control boxes that are used for these head-mounted displays where they sell them on eBay. You just get a control box only, but the headset is busted, so they just sell the control box, or maybe even 3D projectors. I have not tried this, but if I do try it and it does work, I will leave it in the video description so that you can see what works, so you don't have to waste your money. I'll just waste mine.